Hello everybody, my object that I will be discussing in this video is a brilliant installation built by artist Bruce Newman in 1984. The installation is titled 100 Live and Die and is currently located in Naoshima Contemporary Art Museum in Kagawa, Japan. Bruce Newman attached neon tubing to aluminum monolith, and each neon phrase lights up based on a timer. Phrases like kiss and die or eat and live flash with vibrant neon colors. Each phrase is a different color, which allows the words to stand out from one another. The significance of this object is to show the unique expressions done by Bruce during a time of change in art and how his sculptures differ from the others during that era, but still send a strong message that applies to the changes. Bruce was born in 1941 and graduated art school at the age of 24. His very first studio was at a vacant grocery store in San Francisco, where he began most of his unique paintings and prints. He later transferred to New Mexico. Soon after he decided to change the way he practiced art, 100 Live and Die was created, after a shift in Bruce's career. He had virtually given up painting. And in an article published in July 2015 by Interview magazine, he was asked, "How long did it take to give up painting? Was it a conscious choice, or did you just get bored?" Bruce's response was, "I liked painting, but just couldn't think of anything else to paint anymore." Bruce had essentially begun a new era in his art career. 100 Live and Die was a very new style to art, but delivered a message that you might not receive from paintings or other popular pop art during the 1960s through the 1980s. The message was bold and in your face, flashing lights and colors. The installation was almost speaking directly to the viewer, peering into their mind. The reason I chose to talk about this incredible installation was because this was at a time when art was changing. We started to see less of the pop art style and more sculptures. Pop art was used to protest and express a bold statement using basic household goods or common items we would see every day in our lives. Here's a great example, a piece done by Sildo Morales called Insertions into Ideological Circuits, Coca-Cola Project, done in 1970. Although Bruce never personally worked with pop art in his career, his work was done around the same time pop art was popular, so to compare the messages seen can show dramatic differences. While Bruce is showing human emotion, mainly only speaking to the individual who views, Sildo is speaking to a mass of people and protesting. Both pieces were done within 14 years from one another, but the difference in the art is vast. Bruce did not just touch your mind and emotions, but also he expressed sexuality in his work as well. Some of the phrases in 100 Live and Die say love and live, touch and live, kiss and die, and other explicit phrases as well. He was not afraid to be bold with his work. Here is another one of his pieces to show an example of his expressive neon pieces. This installation is titled Sex and Death by Murder and Suicide, done in 1985, 1 year after 100 Live and Die was built. You can see the sexual expressions and messages displayed are bold and in your face, similar to his 100 Live and Die installation. You are getting the message loud and clear. Here is from another artist during the exact same era who also expressed sexuality. Luis Burgoyne created this sculpture titled Blind Man's Bluff. This was created the exact same year that 100 Live and Die was made by Bruce in 1984. In this sculpture, you see large bumps and almost breast-like sculptures. Again, during the 1980s, sculpture and installations became more popular, but Lewis's Blind Man's Bluff is very different than that of Bruce Newman's installations. As stated in our Chapter 6 slides, this piece is fetish-like, suggesting a fixation on sexual parts without an attachment to an individual as a whole. Although they are both expressing sexuality and emotion, they are both very different. Bruce is focusing on an individual as a whole, unlike Blind Man's Bluff, and Bruce is also tuning into human emotions as well. This is a perfect comparison of two sculptures done in the same year and how they both apply to the changes in art during that time. While Bruce began as a painter, he managed to stray away from painting altogether to focus on installations and sculptures, most notably his neon installations. While other artists were also embracing new forms of art during the 1980s, Bruce's work always stood out. Not only did he express sexuality, but also touched your mind and almost opened your emotions up while viewing his work. His messages were very bold and very clear. 100 Live and Die is a significant example of how he manages to touch the viewer on a deeper level. Personally, viewing the video of the installation in action, I felt a very strong emotion as each phrase lit up. It was very different than viewing a sculpture, and the piece is very interactive. Another trait that was new to art. Bruce's ways of taking creativity and boldness really show what an incredible artist he really was.